Welcome back to Dragonfall. Spent the last episode getting a rundown from our dead non-friend, formerly alias Green Winters. So we've got some things to consider and talk about. Yeah. So apparently Firewing is still alive. I do feel like it's interesting. The game has not so far explained this, but I know a bit from my other Shadowrun knowledge. So dragons are, there are dragons and great dragons, and even in the Shadowrun universe, they're somewhat enigmatic in terms of like they don't really, most of them don't interact with general humanity or the other races in general. The one exception being Dunkelzahn, who ran for and became president of one of the major nation states, or I don't remember what the name of the group was. Anyway, so Dunkelzahn is was one of the great dragons. Dragons are incredibly powerful magical creatures. They are literally dragons. And a lot, like in the world of Shadowrun, they basically, like, they're the mythical dragons that come from various cultures are sightings of real dragons, except for, in addition to the typical tales of disaster and pillaging and great mighty scale flying creatures, they are incredibly magically powerful, can in many different like forms of magic, and also they have the ability to transform themselves, so they can appear as humanoid, like regular humanoid, like they could theoretically be in this room right now. I don't think that's probable, but they can do that. So it would be an interesting twist if what they're going for here is that the Firewing survived and then escaped from the socks and has tapped into the Matrix, and is, rather than it being like security that Monica and Green Winters ran up against, if it's literally like an incredibly Firewing is basically an incredibly powerful Decker killing people in the Matrix. This is all just spitballing, but it's certainly within the realm of possibility. Like, and it's interesting that the game hasn't really told us any of this. I don't know, maybe I'm spoiling it preemptively, because you're not supposed to know, but like, I don't think the characters here, especially Amsel, should be unaware of the ability for great dragons to, maybe not the real specifics, but for like great when was Dunkelzahn president? Hold on. Oh, I guess I didn't realize that. Dunkelzahn was president of the UCAS in 2057, so that actually hasn't happened yet. Interesting. So anyway, maybe they don't know that. Huh. Well, preemptive apologies for, many dozens of episodes later if I may have spoiled that by knowing lore. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. And I don't know that that's necessarily like a spoiler in terms of the reveal. It shouldn't be the thing that the whole story hinges on. So, anyway. The room goes quiet as everyone struggles to process what you've just seen on the DVD. Finally, Dietrich breaks the silence. A dragon. Son of a bitch. Green Winter sent us up against a dragon. The Firewing. Amsel's voice is thick with dread. She lives. I'm really starting to regret the fact that I didn't just stay at the hotel. Iger ignores him. Wait a second. We don't know for certain. Dietrich lays a hand on Iger's shoulder. The evidence seemed pretty convincing to me, love. I'll even take it a step further. I think that secret facility that we stumbled into was her lair. The room falls silent. Iger and Glory exchange glances. After a moment, Dietrich continues. Just think about it. The Decker that Winters got those coordinates from was posting about Furschwinge. Then she was killed by that same orcish bastard that attacked us after Monica died. That's a direct link between the dragon, the scarred orc, and the Harfield Manor. And then Winters was killed by the same thing that killed Monica. Exactly. My gut tells me that the dragon is down there. Alice, someplace far beneath the surface. I think that we knocked on the door to her lair without even knowing it. And I think that, given what we've seen, the dragon will do whatever it takes to keep us quiet about it. Okay, going on the assumption that there is a dragon, and that she will come after us, what do you propose we do about it? Jesus. This is just dumb. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to follow Winter's advice. We're going to find Valclair. Yes, Alice is right. Finding Dr. Valclair should be our priority. If we're going up against a dragon, we need to find ourselves a dragon slayer. Winter spent 20 years searching for Valclair, and it got him nowhere. How do you propose that we find him? With the help of an information broker. I'll go talk to Altug then. For this, no. While Herr Bergazi is very capable, a task of this magnitude is beyond him. We need to make contact with the premier information broker in Berlin. We need to talk to Alice. Blitz scoffs at Amsel. Alice, best of luck, and I hope that you're rich. Amsel raises an eyebrow. For this, rich enough, even if only just. Who is this Alice? A most prominent figure in Berlin's shadow community. Ex-Schockenwellenreiter. Schockenwellenreiter? Okay, hold on. Hold on. That just brought up information about this game. Translate. Shockwave Rider. Alright. Don't really know what that means. She provides information retrieval services for the F state. Amsel turns to the computer console behind him and runs his fingers over a virtual keyboard. The machine begins to hum. If Winters is right, if Valclair is still alive, she can help us find him. The console spits out a stick of black plastic. Amsel plucks it from the computer and hands it to you. Here, your key to speak with Alice. A cred stick? Amsel nods. An encoded cred stick, yes. 10,000 new yen. Alice will not show her face for less. This represents the last of my personal savings. Alice, make this meeting count. Where do I need to go? take the U-Bahn to the Altstadt Spandau. Then there you will find a connecting tube that the locals refer to as the rabbit hole. Ah, yeah, okay, real subtle. You will find a method of contacting Alice there. Don't call it that in front of her, though. Word on the street is that she hates it. Yeah, I think I would too, if everybody made my name into a Lewis Carroll joke. Please hurry. While you're out, I will work on acquiring new contracts for the team. Alice is the best there is at what she does, and her services carry a price tag to match. Okay, well... I think we should check out the gear vendors again. Sit. He sits. Pet him. Okay, so is this actually like... tell him to stay put. Alright. No, actually, if I'm going out on the street, I'll take him with me. Whatever. Alright, let's take a look real quick at wares. I'm hoping there might be some new armor. Especially since we've already proven that the AI has not gotten better in terms of like balancing balancing the combat so they don't just focus on my character. I have cash and I need weapons. Alright. So... I have a little bit of money. But unless I wanted to move to a full sniper rifle, I don't think that's necessarily the smartest thing. I don't have any armor. Securitex Armor's clothing line. Kevlar is woven into the fabric, providing protection from most small arms. Grants plus 5 HP. But also grants armor 4. I mean, that seems like a good investment for 650. Unless armor doesn't work the way I think it does. Is there anyone else who sells armor? I'm trying to remember. There's a medical guy over here, right? Well, I need to see him about some med kits. Welcome back. What can I do for you, my friend? I found this schematic. Think you can hook me up with this chrome? Very nice. The design appears to be simple enough. Yes, I should be able to provide you with this. It won't be cheap, though. I need medical supplies. Alright, well... Give me... Why not? It's only money. There's nothing over here, right? No. Is there anyone else? So we've got... I do want to see... where is it? Here? No. Here. I want to see Algernon about some spells. Absinthe turns to face you. She takes care to avoid looking you in the eye. Alice, a pleasure as always. What can I do for you? Use astral perception to read Absinthe's aura. If third eye slides open, you find yourself staring at nothing. Where the elf's aura should be, a hazy gray smear undulates instead. Absinthe's voice slides into your ears like a living thing. You won't catch sight of me that way, elf. My true self is hidden, tucked away behind a veil of time and ether. Be thankful. You wouldn't like what you'd see. Your third eye slides shut again, involuntarily this time. Back in the material world, you find yourself rubbing your temples against a sudden headache. It feels like eye strain, only 1,000 times worse. Don't worry, the pain will fade in time. I wouldn't recommend doing that again, though. You don't need to worry about that. I won't try to read your aura again anytime soon. She nods. Believe me, it's for the best. Looking to buy some magic. Want to talk to Algernon. Okay, what are you even here for, then? Question for you. You don't look like I have a great many answers. Have you ever heard of a gang called the Crusaders? Sadly, yes. They are quite active here in Berlin. They're fascists, plain and simple. They cling to Christian doctrine to justify their actions, but they are killers first and religious fanatics second. Just what is the deal with religion here anyway? I've never paid much attention myself. Well, it's complicated. We stand in a country that has clung to its religious heritage with considerable zeal. In much of the developed world, awakening shifted public perception away from organized religion, but here in Germany it had the opposite effect. While many developed nations have adopted spiritualism, some here might call it paganism, as their de facto belief systems, the Germany of 2054 remains a Christian nation. Whether that's a good thing or a bad one is open to interpretation. I take no stand on the matter either way. And what do you believe? I am a simple traveler and a seeker of truth. I believe what I directly observe, and I have observed... His voice trails off. Corner of his mouth twitches up into a smile. Much. In my view, all belief systems are essentially different ways of interpreting the same thing. Magic is an underlying force of the universe. It is a fundamental truth. Religion is the lens that societies use to focus the enormity of that truth into something their people can understand. Well, we're starting to get into the questions that I don't really know about and I was talking about before. But what is the source of magic? Where does that truth come from? You ask questions that have no answers, young elf. The elf strokes his beard, a contemplative look on his face. My experiences led me to suspect that magic is its own source. You may, of course, choose to believe differently. It matters little to me either way. So you think the world's religions are wrong, then? Did I say that? No, young elf. If anything, I'm saying that all belief systems are equally valid. After all, they are all different interpretations of the truth. And how can the truth be wrong? Yeah, we'll just follow this to the end, even if I'm not totally on board with it. I don't buy any of this. We're dealing with fundamental contradictions here. If one philosophy says that there's no God and another says there are hundreds of them, they can't both be right. Could a Kabbalist create a golem if his faith were misplaced? Could a voodooist Hungan commune with the Loa if they did not exist? Could a Shinto Kanushi channel the power of kami spirits if they were figments of his imagination? I mean, possibly. All these things happen in the sixth world, and yet the traditional forms of many religions would each claim that the others are wrong. It's a conundrum, to be sure. The world's great religions have been struggling with it ever since the awakening. He offers you an apologetic smile. This is a problem that I cannot solve for you, young elf. You'll have to find your own answers. Intriguing. Well, you've given me a lot to think about. It was my pleasure. Now, is there anything else you need? Alright, well, let's see. 1 willpower, 1 charisma, 2 armor. So it looks like I can't go to any one place for armor. Well, don't think we're gonna do that. I could buy another fetish, but I haven't even used the one I have yet. 1 willpower and 1 charisma does potentially go a long way. And since I'm spending... Well, I'm trying not to get shot in the first place. Maybe I'll spring for that one. Although, I don't know. What do I need to spend money on? I guess I'm hoping that the money comes in, or in the previous game, the money came in pretty regularly, but the money in this game seems to come in a little bit more randomly, so I don't know. It's interesting. All right, well. I think that's enough of that. Let's take I think we're pretty much... Is there anything else we would potentially want? Hold on, why do I have to... Discuss your findings with Ansel. Why do I still have that prompt? Unless that's supposed to be after? Yeah, I can't interact with anyone here. Okay. All right, well, I guess we're off to another mission, but I think we'll do that on the next episode. I'll see you guys then.